Greetings,
Hey there.
greetings, family.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Pam, I'm still president of your fan club.
How are
Hello,
you?
hello.
Hey, Andrea. And then send a note real quick. I sent it to Winona. I didn't hear back from her, but I did send her an email.
No problem.
I didn't have her phone number. Do you have her phone number?
Yeah, let me text her right quick.
Okay, because I didn't. Sometimes people may not look. Hi, Andrea. I'm gonna get Ashley.
Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm trying to find a
Oh,
spot. I'm just
All
out
right,
and about, so it's a little bit loud. So I'll be.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you could make
you're
it.
okay. We're gonna have people popping in from all across the board. This is our catch-up call for the convention. All right, so let's talk. Hey, Veronica, let's talk about our panel. Pam, you shoot it off right quick. And now the panel, give them the name and everything so people know. How are you, Veronica?
I'm great, Terry. How are you?
You're looking good, looking good. There's Ashley too.
Can you?
Good,
Hey,
good, good.
Pam.
My computer froze for a second. Give me a second here. So our panel is really talking about the pivot. And why is my computer spinning? I'm sorry. Terry, go on. My computer is spinning. It's not letting me bring something up because it's
Okay,
still
cool.
circle is going.
You
Ugh.
know, Zoom has
I have
gotten,
too many tabs. I have too many tabs open. That's what it is.
yeah, Zoom is going crazy. Trust and believe. Okay. So how's everybody doing? What cities are we calling from?
Detroit.
Oh, D-Town,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. All right, well,
Hmm.
In New York.
I'm in the other D-Town, Dallas. 104 degrees already.
Oh my gosh. Mm-mm.
All right.
I'm in the
So
DC metro area, so like right outside of DC, the Bowie, Upper Marlboro area. Everyone, good afternoon.
Good
hey.
afternoon.
All right, good. Because I was looking for your to text you and my computer froze. So I knew you would be here. All right, all right.
Yeah.
So the from Byline to Brandline, and that's really like the name of the most people are going to remember, but we're really talking about the power of the pivot and how people can really make the transition from a journalist to a publicist or a content creator or a storyteller. Uh, the pivot is really from just as a journalist, obviously, because that's we're at NABJ 50th anniversary. A lot of the newsrooms are shrinking. So that's the whole point of really the panel to see, like, okay, you have skills. How are we going to plug it into the new era that we're in now? And that's really the gist of it. I've been promoting it. Thanks to Ashley for doing our little squares for us. Thank you so
Yes,
much because I think we had them, but I couldn't find them and Ashley recreated it. I was like, thank you so much.
yes. I had a
Yeah.
friend that's on the task. She's the chair of the what do you entrepreneurship task force. Excuse
Okay.
me. So she said, "Well, here's the
Template.
template." I said, "Excellent. Let's do it."
Good, because
I
I
hope.
could not find that template, and
Yes.
I probably was bugging them too much, so I was like, you know what,
I,
I'm okay.
I said I'm happy to help out wherever needed. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and I took it and I put it on LinkedIn and
Oh, okay.
Instagram and stuff like that. Winona, hopefully Winona comes on, but she's part of it as well. I'm excited because um, I've never met Terry, but we've talked. But I've met Winona, and I know Winona. She's from Chicago, which is kind of like the sister city to Detroit. But she was in Detroit when she won the NABJ Hall of Fame PR person. So I was
Mhm.
really glad that she's going to be a part of our panel. And then I had a quick call with Andrea as well. She is a founder of Rewrite, and she just really talks a lot about storytelling and things like that. And she has a session, two sessions on that Friday. She has the one with us from noon to one, and then she has another one I will support her at I think 2 to 3 or something like that. And then Terry's pulling it all together. Thank you so much for pulling this Zoom together and pulling this together on this
Mm-hmm.
beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, well, this is too much fun, y'all. Too much fun. Let me let me get some stuff out the way first.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I am the chair of the media related task force. That is all of us people. The organization calls us the dark side, but they found out we're the lucrative side. So, and this particular panel is pulled together because we do this panel every year. Every year gets a different name. Crossing Jordan was one. Making the transition from journalism to PR is another. And it's always standing room only, so be prepared. And so we have done this for years because the media related task force, we are the largest segment of task force, but second to the sports task force. And so we are fighting now for our voting rights. I'm going to drop some videos in the chat for you and email them if you want me to email them, if you can't get them. And we've been having our meetings. We have meetings every time. And during the pandemic, all our stuff was online. We call it the virtual happy hour. Everybody had to bring a drink, just like I have in the back over there. Get your drink on. And so as a chair, I was also on the board for 2 years. And then I was chair. So this is going to be a very awesome panel because most of mid-level journalists are transitioning. And they're transitioning into what we've already established, the digital space, the digital power. And we're all storytellers. And when you get these links to the YouTubes that we had, I'm just going to get the ones we've been having all this week to try to get caught up. And you can see that what I said was we're storytellers. We'll never stop being storytellers. Except now we're more advocacy and more linear focus on clients than we were on breaking news and stuff like that. The second most popular panel that we have, which didn't get approved this year because we just had I was on the board, so we didn't have our people in there approving panels. And every year, two of us in there. But the second most popular panel we have is called Pitch Me With Your Best Shot. Another one of the journalists has one that she does all the time on her own. It's called Pitch Please. I said it slowly so you understand. I said the word yes. But it's about being able to talk with the newsroom, the news desk, and all the newsmakers so that we can get whoever we're advocating for into the media cycle. I'm currently working on a $1 billion project of reshaping the downtown Dallas area, the convention center. And we fooled them. This is a $1 billion project, and I can tell you, ladies.
Are you saying billion with a B?
Yes. It's all black people and women, and they just said, "How'd that happen?" And so some of the not Trump. So let me be quiet. Some of the people who mainstream construction people here are trying to attack it. And so my only role is communications and bringing on minority women businesses to get engaged in this major contract. We're actually bringing in a WNBA stadium. We're also revamping 2 of the cultural centers that are attached to the convention center. And I'm just responsible for media. But the attack is on us. And so one of the things that's most important is that we as media-related people have got to understand that. I just submitted a white paper to PRSA called the DEI response. How do we respond to the attacks on DEI? And some of the responses is how we as communicators, especially for this that we're doing from Byline to Brandline, how we can create brand management, credibility management, and create arguments that take away us from targeted words, they take us into narratives that are uplifting, narratives that tell the truth, because we're in an age of combating untruth. And unfortunately, it's coming from our leadership. So I was so happy when Pam's panel. We had 5 people submit a transitioning panel. I was so happy when they chose mine and Pam, so it's really good. So I just want to let y'all know that part. But these graphics, if I could get those graphics, they look good. I was trying to download them off of Pam's LinkedIn page. I couldn't.
Oh, I'll put them in the chat. Or Ashley, can you put them in the chat?
Yeah. So
Okay. What am I putting in the chat? I missed the last part.
The graphics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to tag you, Terry. Did you say you were on social media?
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Terry Allen PR.
Terry Allen PR. Okay. It says chat is disabled.
Oh, it is? Hold on, let me fix that.
Thank you.
I keep it open, but when I join, It's janky. There we go. You're set.
Perfect. I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can save the chat, do whatever you want. But anyway, the great graphics, I think, is a great process. This is going to be most likely. First of all, let me preface. We're in Cleveland, all right. And as the chair of the media related task force, I'm reaching out to all my PR comes people, and everybody. A lot of us ain't coming to Cleveland. Y'all know why. So we're in Cleveland, so but we are going to be communicating there. So this is going to be a jam-packed place. Event, a panel, because we're going to be dealing with transitioning and knowing what that is. But I'm going to shoot it back to Pam and let her guide the framework that we've done so we can get our talking points. I think it's important to have those talking points and be able to flip back and forth ahead of time.
Yeah. So really, and Veronica, okay. Veronica is here.
Yeah.
Veronica, I'm Pam. So I want to know a little bit about you because I don't know you.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm an NABJ baby. I've been a member NABJ since I was a journalist before I got into PR. Currently, I actually lead communications for DNI, community relations, and social impact for Fidelity Investments. Before Fidelity, I've worked for Wells Fargo, I've worked for Disney, I've worked for Hill and Knowlton when Hill and Knowlton was, a
Mhm.
big agency. So just have always been in communications, and that's what I wanted to do. And like I said earlier, I live in Charlotte.
Okay. All right. Good, good, good.
Nice
So
to meet you, Pam.
nice meeting you. Yeah, you were at Wells Fargo. I'm sure you were probably doing a lot of crisis management at that point, probably,
Oh,
maybe.
a lot. I started Wells Fargo. My first stop there was in the mortgage business. I supported the mortgage business. So when the mortgage crisis was happening and
Mhm.
foreclosures and all of that, it was always issues management, crisis management, then the accounts, and then George Floyd died, and then all of that.
Yeah, and Wells Fargo they've been big sponsors for a lot of Black events because of the guilt things that they've been doing. But anyway,
I don't know if they're here. Well, I'll have to ask. I don't know if Wells Fargo is at NABJ this year. I haven't called Deborah. Terry, have you heard from Deborah?
Deborah may be coming. Damon is not coming, and Kendrick is no longer with Wells Fargo.
Kenneth just got a new job. I can't remember where though.
Yeah.
mm,
And so I
okay.
talked, Damon was on, we're doing these calls 3 o'clock every day until tomorrow, y'all. So he was on the call yesterday and he said he wasn't coming. And of course, it's a Cleveland thing. But I think they're going to have a presence. I don't know what level of sponsorships they've had. They
Mhm.
really, as you know, Veronica, they were heavy when there was that backlash against those accounts they had set up.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
heavy in sponsorship, but now they're heavy in reorganization because
Well, they displaced the majority of the communications team at Wells Fargo. A lot of Damon's colleagues were displaced. They left a few people in DNI. They left a few people in community relations. So that team at Wells Fargo that used to be when Bridget and I were there is much bigger. It's small now.
Mm,
and
okay.
don't worry, that's happening across the board, I promise you.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not unique. That's for sure. They're not unique.
Mhm. So I'll leave the moderation. So we only have like an hour. So I would ask each one of you all to give like a little bit of an intro who you are. Veronica, are you going to be a part of the panel?
I
No, okay.
no, I'm not
Okay.
going to be a part of the
So it'll
panel.
be Ashley. I'll probably start out first with Ashley, Andrea, and then Winona, and then Terry, then you, and then basically bump a question to Terry, and then just go back through. Then it'll go to Terry and whoever else wants to answer. And really just talking about the elephant in the room, like there's a lot of transition going on, people are pivoting, newsrooms are shrinking, and then have everybody giving their thoughts of how they personally made their own pivots. So, Ashley, you want to give a little bit of background on who you are? I'm sorry, so that way everybody will know like where you'll be coming from, where her background was, and
I
where you
was
started. Hmm.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, yeah, because that way you kind of tell people, oh, I used to work for the Washington Post, I used to do this and that, and they kind of can locate where everybody
Is
is.
there consideration, and I'm apologizing for not having kept up to date with what's going on. But is there a move afoot to bring other media into the journalist
that's my phone.
category? I mean, like you were saying, AI and people that are doing all kinds of digital stuff and things like that.
Sorry about that. That's my phone. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I was looking. I said, is that somebody else that's asking a question? Okay. That was your phone. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they,
Thank you. So now I will go into, so good afternoon, everyone. And I have to again thank Dr. Pam Perry for even asking me to join this conversation on this national level. Like Veronica, I've been in NABJ for years, and also WABJ because I'm here in DC. I'm on the board here for WABJ. So they were thrilled to see that I was on this panel. So I'm going to actually include the flyer that I just dropped in the chat. It's going to be in our newsletter because I'm the executive secretary and for our chapter. So to your point, Terry, I'm going to make sure that I can do my part to broadcast the messaging for our panel. But I am a journalist with over 15 plus years of experience. My very first job right after college was at the Washington Post. And from there, I realized how hard it was. And I can say this in this space. The Post was a racist paper. So it was so hard to get my byline. But when I got my byline, I got out of there so fast. I pivoted to the Afro. I started working and then I actually went to the Metro section of the Post because I still wanted that Post byline. But from there, I transitioned into writing for the Afro, and I did that for about 7 years. But following the paper, I went to Fox 5 DC, so I went into production. And then from there, I heard that a station wanted to compete with WTOP radio. So I transitioned into radio because I wanted to be a leader and help start a new station that could possibly, compete with WTOP. It didn't. The station folded, but we were known to it was called WNEW News. So it was a 24-hour news talk radio station. So I wrote for that, broadcasted there, and then I pivoted and went to urban radio. So WPGC 95.5, which was hip hop and urban and R&B. So, that was how I was able to kind of build a persona and build a name for myself because I was able to interview Grammy award winning artists, go to LA for the BET Awards and started to do big national red carpets. And from there, I think Roland Martin's team spotted me. So I started to become a regular contributor on the Roland Martin show that was on TV1. And now I do contributing for Fox 5 DC. I kind of talk about lifestyle, entertainment, and fun things. I do a lot of partnerships with Stars, the network. So going to VIP events. So just turn from print journalist to an influencer and a notable name where I get invited to lots of events and brands and sponsorships. So it's just really a good time to see you go from radio to print to broadcasting production and now the digital space.
mm-hmm. And that term that you use, the influencer, that's going to be something that people will be like, well, how do you do that?
Yep.
You know,
Because I feel like I'm not a blogger because I actually have training and a degree in journalism. So I don't call myself a blogger. I call myself more so an influencer and a media personality because I have training in this journalistic space.
Yeah, media personality, I think, is a really good term to use as well. Sometimes you'll say a content creator, but I think that's what maybe um Andrea, Andrea, are you there? Yeah. Kind of
Yes.
give you a little bit of background too of yours. So hers will be the questions that I'll direct towards Ashley will be about that transition she made from print, straight print, newspapers, and even working with the Black press. That's a whole nother thing that I want people to not forget or leave. And then going into radio, which she said, so now she's got print, TV, radio, and then now really like podcasting and content creation and red carpet events and that kind of thing. So people who have events, they need a red carpet. And so Ashley's going to be doing like a red carpet for our event as well. And she does really good with that and puts together the highlight reel for the event and all that kind of stuff. So it's the skills she's used as a journalist that have just morphed into other things that we could do now. So and it aligns with your passion. So Andrea, tell them a little bit about you and your passion because she's a journalist as well and how she morphed it into a whole nother business and career.
Yes. So my name is actually Andrea. I know the U
Andrea.
throws everybody off. It's Andrea. And I spent more than 15 years more than 15 years as an on-air journalist. So small markets, Macon, Charlotte, Nashville, Philly, and then New York. And in 2022, I transitioned to entrepreneurship. And Ashley, I'm actually from Maryland. I'm from Wheaton. So when you're talking about Bowie, I know exactly where you are. And so my business, I have two parts of my business. I have a consulting side where I work with, I help my clients tell better, more authentic stories about themselves, their work, and each other is what I say. So that's like media training, that is production, that is live events. And then I've created this ecosystem called the Next Best Thing. And there are different parts of it. The one that's focused specifically on journalists is called The Rewrite. And it's really helping people navigate their career and life transitions. And so I have specific tools to help people really, a lot of people are going to hear a lot of stories about how people transition, but then they're like, well, how does it apply to me? So I've like deconstructed that to break it down. And so that's what The Rewrite is about. So that's how I transitioned. I'm 3 years out, and it's a lot of work, but I'm having a good time.
All right. So then my questions will be more tactical for you as well, about how to, and then also promote them to go to where you actually break it all down at the following that, so you be by yourself, but really letting them know that, okay, you do need to pivot, but how do you do that? And then that whole training on that as well. So about rewriting your narrative, right? Rewriting your own story. So so that's good.
And I think with that too, it's also sharing the story, because I think that's, even though we tell stories about everybody else, journalists really have a hard time about telling their own story and like taking ownership of their own story. So if we could get into that, I'd love to talk about that more.
All right. I just want to do this and make it easy, since this is my 35th convention and my 28th panel. So I just want to make sure that I think it would make it easy for Pam, is that you guys all have a major expertise, and everybody who's transitioning needs to know how to go from being a byline to a Brandline. We are going to focus on how you develop yourself in the PR comms world, the strategic communications, the crisis communications. So I think it's going to be important if you guys tonight go home and give us 3 questions that you want to answer so that Pam can ask them. All right. That way you will have those 3 questions. Pam's going to give me 2, because at the close of this is a 45-minute cycle we're in, because we're going to do a Q&A. And that's why I asked Veronica to be on the call, because I need her to be the expert in the room so that she can kick off the Q&A part. And so, because I'm going to turn around and say, Veronica. So that's going to go in there. But
be our timekeeper.
Yeah. Pam's going to be able to say, we'll do a short intro, probably use the bios, the 125-word bios that we have had to submit. But one of the things that is important, and this is in transition, people, is that people have to understand what branding is, what PR comms is, what strategic communication is, what crisis communication is, and public affairs. So now you get to go from breaking news to managing news, managing responses, and doing that. I give you a prime example. That $1 billion project I'm talking about, one of the arts and entertainment venues that's being moved gave a play, and one of the ladies who was rejected from being in the play came to the play and shot the woman on stage in the chest in the middle of the opening night. So we took on a whole different crisis communications. First of all, how did she get past the guns, the radar thing? But the storytelling we did was we started saying, this has never happened in the history of this thing. So we let them know, it's still a safe place. Because our goal was to create a sense of safety, and to reduce the damages that could be brought against the public center of the city of Dallas, the convention center, and others. So we had to tell that safe place story. We had to also come back and show the public outpouring of the woman that was shot. And we also had to reveal the insanity of the person that did it, that she had other issues, that it was not just a rejection of being the lead actress in this particular show. So this is the things that journalists tend to miss when they cross over. They want to turn it into a news breaking story, but it's going to have to be a targeted messaging story where they get the message across. So that's a lot of times. As the chair of the task force, I get a lot of emergency calls. I used to be in a newsroom. Now I'm director of public affairs, or I'm in strategic communications, and my employer wants me to tell this story. That's not true. I need to tell this story. I said, well, you don't have to lie. You do have to tell the story and let the public develop their opinion based on the information that you do that with. So there is a pivot there from breaking news and you know the networks, how they do it. But we get into this part where you have a strategic storytelling. You make a message to it, and I love what you guys do because you've already accomplished that. You've done a fantastic job becoming a brand that goes from news to storytelling. Go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was so everybody has their own. Winona, wish I had her here too as well, so I can kind of get to that. But I want you to really talk about the crisis communications and strategic communications. I guess Winona, you guys may overlap, and we'll send this to Winona so she can actually have it, because now I know where Ashley, Andrea, I think I said it right. Andrea. Okay, which one?
Yes.
Andrea, the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have Andrea. So okay, so Andrea, where she will fit in and what she will talk about, and then Terry, and then Winona. And so everybody can send me their questions, but I want it to flow so that I can basically let people be aware of who has the expertise of where they are. Where they'll probably either relate more to like Ashley's story, or they'll relate to Terry's story, or they'll say, well, I really want to do, I like what Andrea is doing. I'd like to know more about that. So that way they'll know. I'm just there basically talking about the power of the pivot and how I have been in business for 30 plus years, 35 years, and how I have made a lot of pivots just as a publicist, just as a person doing just some PR, starting out doing this and then end up doing this, and just how that pivot kind of goes. But I want people to, the last 15 minutes or so, Veronica will make sure that, we stop and people can ask questions and they know enough of who to ask what question to. And that's really like the most important thing as well. So I want to make sure, Winona, where she started, where I know she has a PR firm, but what was her background primarily?
She was, I ain't gonna try to guess too hard, but she was with one of the agencies, and then she went to one of the retailers.
Okay.
Was she with Jewel at one time, the grocery store chain? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I met her. That's when I met her in Chicago when she was doing that.
Okay. So she went from like the agency side to basically like the client side in the communication. So she can talk about that as well, even about building the business, just how that
Absolutely.
is. Okay.
Because a lot of journalists do, I think, instead of going into organizations, they build their own thing using their journalist or the entrepreneur angle. I think is really good.
Yeah, she will do that. And I want to say one of the PR firms she worked for was Burrell. I'm not really sure per se.
I can't remember which one.
But
you're right. I just don't remember which one.
She also worked for Safeway, Publix, Safeway, and Jewel. And
okay.
Been the crisis communication person, and on my team with me when we dealt with Disney and their challenges with Florida and things of that nature. So I'm putting in the chat some things that I want to remind you. Send Pam and myself 3 questions that you want to answer.
Okay.
Make sure that your questions to be able to tell what you have accomplished. And in those areas that you've accomplished, you're going to pick whether it's the pivot, which is going to be extremely important for everybody in the room. How do you pivot? Entrepreneurism, PR comms, crisis communications, and also public affairs and things of that nature. And also, the one thing I think also is that when we talk about branding, we want to talk about networking and building relationships, because relationships are the new currency.
Yeah, partnerships are, and it's really one of the collaboration is the currency for sure.
Yeah, and so
just like building your Rolodex as a journalist.
So
Mm.
But you're going to have in there, send those questions in so we can process it. I already got Winona's questions, so I'll forward them over.
Oh, good. Okay.
But that's what we want to do. We wanted to go where people will have a takeaway. Now, my question to you guys is, if you have a tip that you want to do, Pam, do you think we could go ahead and do a tip sheet and we can print it and they can take it with us, or we can do a QR code so they can capture it and be top tips from Andrea, Ashley, Veronica, everybody. Just get the top tips, and it'll be a QR that we can do and circulate. So give me your top tips. And my top tip is relationships are currency. So when you leave the newsroom, take those relationships with you.
Will the QR code be on a screen behind us? Where will this QR code be?
It'll be on the screen. Yeah, be on the screen, and also I'll print it so it'll be on the tabletop too.
Okay. All right. So good. Yeah, I like that. I like the QR code, so everybody can do a Google Docs and add their tips to it, and then turn into a QR code. That's fine.
I'm so glad.
I love that.
I was going to do that Google Doc. Good. So, but the thing I say is that this is more about our strategy, not our content. Your content is going to come from you. What question do you want to answer so you can expose your success story? So make sure Pam and I have that question. So we're talking. It looks like we're flowing, but it shows that we are by design. And I all that to tell you, this is what media related is. It's not going to be random. It's going to be flowing, and storytelling is going to have a point. When you're dealing with a client and you want them to know that they are the go-to person for a crisis, or they're the go-to person for a flood, then it's all about being scripted and pointed that you're going to get these talking points. It's not random anymore. So send us your questions, and also if you have 1 to 2 tips, we do that. We'll do a top tip shit, make it a QR code, and at that point, we'll also have QR codes because people need to get back to you. Because there are people in the room, like I can say this to you now. In the room was a person from Colgate. When I did the first one, it was called Crossing Jordan. How to go from how to go to the dark side and make it lucrative. That was our first one. And the person in the room was with Colgate. And that led to my first contract. So we're going to put y'all's names in the QR code. And I did a minority. The fact is that Colgate discovered that young Black children are losing their teeth and cavities more so because there's no dental care focus. Our community said, well, the teeth gonna fall out anyway. So we do a 25 city initiative that got them with the little van pulling up in the Colgate tooth guy. So those things happen. Another person was with NVIDIA, and they led to a contract on digital spacing. So yes, we want to put that QR code there. We want to have our top tips. We want to look like we're an expert in our field. You don't have to know everything, but you have to know how your stuff works.
Terry, what would be on the screen? So I'm thinking that it's going to be a skirted table, and I'll be at a podium.
Yeah, our names will be there.
Our names will be there on the screen. Okay, all right. That way people can know. And then at the end, the QR code will come up.
That's the traditional expectation, but we are in Cleveland, so I'm going to take liberty city. Yeah, that's what we expect. We'll see when we get there, but I'm looking at the floor plan there and downloading it.
Okay. Hopefully it's a skirted table, because that way we don't have to worry about the chairs, and it's just it just works better photo wise, just having that. They don't have any problem with us setting up our own particular video and doing a live, or no?
No, you should get the same thing I'm getting from Vanessa. And now that you've been named the primary facilitator, you'll probably get it all that I don't get. And make sure she sends you a confirmation of what equipment you need.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, she sent me my registration, but I didn't get any other equipment. But we do need everybody have their own mic. Hopefully they'll have that, and then I'll have a mic.
And so just for clarity's sake, send me Pam and I will help Pam and I work on a final closing question. What gives you hope for transitioning journalists? I just made that one up, but
closing
everybody for the same question. What gives you hope or how is the digital world, or what can AI do to help? Whatever closing question y'all think we should have, go ahead and suggest that and send it back to us.
Okay. Yeah, one of the main things is if someone who comes in there is like, well, how do you know when to pivot? And are you pivoting too much? Do you give something, people say, well, you need to give it a chance to really germinate. You're in this career. Don't pivot too quickly to other things too fast. So how do you know when it is a thing that you need to do? So that could be something to think about
Yeah.
because for everybody it's different, but they need to maybe just hear some reminders or some affirmations or something that they feel already in their heart to do. And it's like, yep, she's just like me. That's when I knew I needed to pivot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great.
That's a great closing question right there, because I bet we'll all have different responses, especially depending on the audience that we're talking to. Like these Gen Alphas, they'll pivot in a heartbeat. They'll stay there, and if they're not feeling it, they're out. So you kind of know when whether or not you're not being valued or the compensation isn't there. So that's a great question, because our story could then let everybody know this is why I pivoted, and you can too.
And sometimes it is really generational. I would say baby boomers like myself, we kind of stayed a little bit longer than I would say like my daughter who is a older millennial. Yeah, she every year she's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, a year? Really?
Yes.
Like, can't.
They
Yeah.
want $100 to be paid for 8. So and they want to be paid daily and not weekly and monthly. And what else? Salary? Can't you just cash out me my check? I said, boy, get it. Okay. But anyway, the pivot that you asked, that closing question, there's an old saying that I do in my tips. It says, keep your 9 to 5 today and work that other stuff you're doing from 5 to 9 until your 5 to 9 becomes your 9 to 5.
That fish is strong. Oh,
I love
okay.
that.
You can ready
I
cook?
love that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 to 9 or either
Okay, I'm gonna throw that in the oven.
5 to midnight.
Yeah. Just keep your 9 to 5 and work that other stuff from 5 to 9 until your 5 to 9 becomes your 9 to 5. When I started my company, I took my employer with me. It was my first time.
You would never want to pick up nothing. I'm on mute. Okay, good.
We just
Who is over there? Okay, Ashley. Ashley. Okay, let me mute Ashley. She
Oh,
over there
I'm sorry,
cooking.
I'm on mute. I wonder was I on mute. Okay,
Hey,
but sorry,
hey,
y'all.
this is not a mute call. We want you to ad lib all the way. But anyway,
I love it. Just catch me on a Saturday afternoon.
He over there cooking or something. I don't know
Yes,
what he
I'm
doing.
cooking. Sorry.
Oh my God.
we love all of y'all being here. Here's another thing. As a chair of the media related task force, we're going to be putting together. I think we need our own awards, Pam. We've been doing too much, and real conditionally, I have to do my job. Someone sent me a ballot, say as a media related, sent me, have you voted? I said, we can't vote.
Yeah.
And we can vote. And the original document in the NABJ form says that we had the right to vote. We need to at least vote for president. The reason we have the Pat Tobin Award, the media related awards, and all the other Salute to Excellence awards is because we voted, and we voted in Greg Lee, and he made sure it was championed through. So we need to talk about that, y'all, at our meetings and our receptions and keep that message going. The second thing is we're going to get a suite, so we're going to have a hang suite. Y'all going to have some, what I call it, some wings and liquor. But anyway, what we want to do is, you guys got swag. You work for companies. You got pens, pads, pencils, whatever. We have a shipment place. We want to bring them in so we can put stuff in the swag bag. So if you can reach out and bring some stuff and reach out to your clients. I'm reaching out to she is my cousin, but we didn't know until later, Hope Allen, which does a lot with Beyond the Gates and Disney and all that. So Hope is very good. I think you know Hope, Pam, and out of New York. So I asked her for some stuff from Shea Marster. I said, hey, send me some stuff. These women all of us love doing stuff with our hair. So send me that stuff. So if you guys can reach out and ship that stuff to us, we'll put it in a place and I'll bring it with you. We can stuff it. We'd love to have swag, but we also we have asked all the candidates to speak with us because we do need to have our voting rights back. They need to be restored. And also we have a mentoring program that Maria started. And this is when we can mentor someone. Pat Tobin, who's the award is named after. Pat Tobin just went across the room and said, hey, I want you to meet someone. And then she said, okay, tell them what you do and tell them what you've done in the newsroom, tell them what you can do for the client. We need a mentoring program and a collaboration program. I just put in 6 of y'all in a RFP that I submitted to the government. And so I look good because it's 6 companies, all of y'all. And so our collaboration needs to work. And you're still gonna get paid what you're gonna get paid, but we win because it's not one of us submitting it. It's a whole powerhouse of marketing, PR, and strategic communications experience. So I wanted to get that way before this call was over because we have another call coming in a minute here. So that's what we're here for. So we want to talk about that collaboration. We want to empower the media related task force. But this is awesome. Pam has assembled some great folks, and I can speak for Winona. She's a powerhouse. She's gonna make you laugh when she talks how she left Safeway. She went from groceries to game plans. So
how many swag items, Terry?
I think just think of about 100 people. 100.
Okay, 200 will be safe. Okay, all right. I'll bring mine with me.
Yeah, 200 would be ideal, and we'll put it in the suite.
Okay, all right. Ooh. All right, excellent. Well, I've got to run. Anything else, you guys? Thank you all so much.
Everybody drop your email in the chat so we can all save it.
Okay.
Have most of you, but just drop it in the chat.
Okay.
And this has been great, Pam. We did okay, didn't we?
Yeah. You did wonderful. You did better than okay. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, giving us that history. So we'll all meet up. Everybody want to wear the same colors. What we gonna do? How we gonna roll?
We wear the same color, same T-shirt. Okay, then.
Hey, that would be amazing. With the QR code, I'll be able to add our contact information. So when they scan us or our social media, when they scan the QR code with tips, they also can contact us later. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, on the sheet, the tip sheet will have your tips, and then it'll have your information down there. So we're going to scan the whole thing so they get everybody's stuff at the same time.
Perfect.
So QR code that has your information, and then that will be scanned into one QR code. That sheet.
This has been recorded. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, we need to put our information on there. I'm coming to Cleveland. You know how much money you want to spend to be here? Come on, I better make some money when I get here.
And listen, I was going to ask you when you said you've been on how many panels? 35 panels. Has NABJ ever used their partner to sponsor and fly you out, since you're one of those legends who's been on every panel? Like, how does that work? How can we think about that for the future?
Okay, well, it's been recorded. Let me correct you. I've been 35 conventions.
35 conventions.
28 panels.
28 panels.
And this gray hair has been earned. I started out when I was 24. Now I'm more than 24. Anyway, so but yeah, you guys need to bring your QR codes, your business cards. Matter of fact, I'm leaving after this next call with the other panel. I'm going to the printer because I just realized I only got 4 business cards. And
wow.
And I'm gonna put this out there. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But we need to get some of these young people to come up with a electronic business card. I'm tired of people scanning me. They'll scan me, and it's not a Black-owned company.
It's not. Yeah, there's Hi Hello and
Blink is one too.
It's popular. They aren't Black-owned. Yeah, we're just consumers. We got to get these people to do the coding, and whoever owns the system owns the game. All right, so.
I love
the developers are usually brown. I worked with some developers in India. They're brown, but the company isn't Black. So, we're close. But yeah, somebody can put that bill. Let's do it.
I mean, even if at some point in time, PayPal, right? PayPal is just a system, but it's $1 million. There's not a Black PayPal, right? Or Calendarly is African. The gentleman was African, so that's good. A lot of people use that kind of, but whoever owns the system owns the game. They just do it once and then it's done. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Y'all see why I'm president of Pam's fan club?
Love it.
It is. Crystal Berger, who is going to be in the continent. She's going to be in Africa. She owns a system called Vetify, and basically it vets people for the journalists. It already vets the guests. So she's been trying to get that up and going. It's really hard to have a Black-owned kind of thing because you need angel investors, millions of dollars. And that's a whole nother conversation about sometimes they don't invest in our things. Even Isaac Hayes' son, he's trying to get his thing up and going. It's been years. It's he still hasn't got all the money yet.
Yeah, he's got a lot though, because I want to invest.
He's got a lot, but it's not up yet. And
well, I think some of his issue. This is an in-house conversation.
Okay. I figured it had to be something else besides the money because people are giving him money.
Well, he needs to diversify it. It should not be a pay for play platform. It needs to be like Facebook. It needs to be like LinkedIn. It needs to be like GroupMe. At a
Yeah.
point I can get in there and chat and go crazy, and it doesn't cost me.
Yeah. Yeah. People, you can get them in once for free, and then kind of like Facebook got us all in, and then all of a sudden, oh, now you got to pay.
Right there, you go. Get them in the door. But I did put in there people of color and technology. Now mine shows up as jobs because that's the page I am. But when you go in,
Okay.
you'll see all those venture capitalists. I'm talking to two, and they did ask me if I could find 3 to 4 black men, young black men and women who want to develop a business card digital. They would finance it to the tune
Mm,
of $400,000. So I'm just trying to find someone to do it because
yeah.
I'm still handing out business cards. You okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm handing out postcards because business cards get lost. So I hand them someone a little postcard. It's like, oh, they can't lose that. Or a bookmark.
Well, I'm going to close with prayer if you guys don't mind.
No,
We
I
don't
would love
mind.
that.
Nope, not at
Thank
all.
you.
Yes.
I talk a lot because I'm a cancer survivor. Oh, well, I'm still in the treatment. They haven't told me I'm over it yet, and
But you are.
I know what
Mhm.
God can do, and so I just want to make sure that we keep God first and that we have success. So I am
Amen.
to pray us out so we can get it done. And my column is Big Mama Said, and I'm telling you things Big Mama said. Big Mama said, as we lift each other up, we must step away to begin our work and prepare for this conference. God, cover these great people on this call and give them divine favor. Remind them that your grace and mercy will walk with them wherever they go.
Mhm.
Let them be not worried about whether they earned it, deserved it, or been given it because you have bought it because grace is a gift and they are covered. And Lord, override every ego against us, every opposition against us, and that we may face today with productivity, engagement, and let our presence shift the atmosphere of all the journalists who are going to sit back and listen to us. I want us to stand in agreement that today we will be successful, not just in this panel, not just in Cleveland, but in our connected network in our careers. And by your spirit, we pray, amen, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Love
Amen.
that.
Thank
Love
you so
that.
much for
Amen.
that.
Thank you for
Thank
Yes.
you. All right, guys. I will see you all next week.
Safe
Yay.
travel. Safe
Safe
All
travel.
right.
travel.
All right,
Thank you.
bye.
All right. Safe travel. See you later.
Bye
Nice to
bye.
see you,
Go find,
Veronica.
go find
Bye-bye.
Poke Ray Ray.
All righty.
All right.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Thanks, Pam.